on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
This is the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. My name is James DeJerome. I'm the producer of the Consumer Quarterback Show. I've been with Brandon a couple of years. Brandon started the Consumer Quarterback Show about 7 years ago as a way to share his network. You know, he made a lot of contacts as a real estate professional in the Bay Area. He wanted to show folks in the Bay Area ways that they could save money, make their dollar go farther in the marketplace. And he got together and figured out how to do the Consumer Quarterback Show. You know, this is his baby. He's attracted lots of sponsors, and we have great partners that come from all areas of business. You know, we started out at home services because Brandon does a lot of real estate stuff. And after we got a mortgage expert, a roofer, a solar guy, and all these different folks came on board, we thought, well, let's just expand this and give the value to all the folks in the Bay Area. So the Consumer Quarterback Show has been on air for a while. He's put the show everywhere for you. If you're listening to us on AM 860 and a 4 p.m. drive time, we certainly encourage you to check out our live stream. We're now streaming the show live to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. The show is all smart TV owners can search on their Roku, Fire TV for the Consumer Quarterback Show by going to Binge TV Networks, and you can find us there. We, of course, do a Sunday radio show on 102.5 FM. So we've gone out of our way to kind of make the show available to everyone because we feel there's great value for you in the Consumer Quarterback Show. One of our sponsors that I mentioned earlier was Jade. Jade's Premium Quality Cleaning handles all the cleaning needs for the Platinum MVP Realty team. Jade's has done a great job. You know, if you're looking for somebody with COVID-19 certification that uses eco-friendly products, we talk a lot about family-owned and local. Well, that's Jade. Jade's a family-owned business, local right here in the Bay Area. You can check them out online at jadespremiumqualitycleaning.com. Lots of great reviews from Jade. Again, she's our professional, our cleaning professional for all the real estate needs that Brandon has with the Platinum MVP team. We've got properties for you to show. Any of the properties you hear pitched on the Consumer Quarterback Show, you can get in touch with Brandon for. Again, he owns the Platinum MVP team. If you're looking to get into the Hudson area, 5832 Beverly Drive, this is an opportunity to build your own dream home right on the water. We've got Gulf access and the bay on the other side. Look at that, 5832 Beverly Drive in Hudson. Really great property, an opportunity for you, both residential and commercial opportunities from Brandon. Here's one in the Clearwater area, 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. So this is a commercial opportunity right on the corner. He's got a great corner location, 2,370 square foot. He's got a lot of 5,200 feet lot size. So it's a really big lot, office storefront, about 12 parking spots available. Again, if you're looking to get a commercial opportunity in the Clearwater area, 1780 Clearwater Largo Road. The Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams. Brandon has real estate, even in this time of low inventory. Don't leave money on the table. Get in touch with Brandon. He's got it. If you want to buy or sell, he's the guy for you. He knows the Bay Area when it comes to real estate. Okay, we talk a lot about sponsors on the show and some of the great people that we work with. Julian Bourbon from the Children's Cancer Center is going to join us now. He's got an event coming up. We encourage everybody to keep an eye on the Children's Cancer Center. This 2020 has been a challenge for business owners. Certainly it's been a challenge for charitable institutions. Julian and the folks over at Children's Cancer Center, no shortage of imagination. They come up with great ideas and ways to cope, and so they found ways to survive and get through it. And here's an event they've been doing for quite a long time, and it's a chance for you to get involved and help things out. Tell us about what you've got coming up with the holiday cards, Julian.
Yeah, so the holiday card campaign is a campaign we've been doing at the center for over 35 years, and we are partnered with Publix across all of Tampa Bay. We're in 143 locations, as far north as Lakeland, all the way down to Venice, south Sarasota. So we're in quite a bit of Publixes, and it's a really awesome campaign. Every year we have a huge competition between a lot of our kids here at the center, and we have 5 winners that get to get their cards published in the Publix stores. So you have 5 different cards to choose from that were drawn by one of our kids, and then you can buy our packs of cards at all 143 Publix locations. Wow. And then we also do a lot of different things online. If you go to our website, which is ccchoholidaycards.com, you can also purchase the packs from there, and you can actually do custom from the website. You can add signatures on the inside of the card. You can add a special message. You can print return address envelopes and do.
We're looking now. Are you sure these are kids who did this? Because the artwork is a little above my level.
Listen, it is kids, I promise you.
Wow.
It actually, on the back of the card, which has made it really special, is you will get to meet your child artist that wrote your card. So, for example, a reindeer card this year is done by Alyssa. You will see on the back of the card, there's a picture of Alyssa and her story. through the center. So every card you'll get to meet the artist behind the card.
What a great idea. I always encourage folks to get in touch and figure out ways they can help. How can folks, if they want to participate, certainly in this event, you've got other events throughout the year and other ways people can get involved with Children's Cancer Center?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, childrenscancercenter.com, there's a lot of ways to get involved. The event-wise, of course, it's day by day with events as this COVID and following CDC restrictions with events. And so we really encourage everyone to follow our Facebook and our Instagram. We keep that up daily. And so anytime we come up with a new idea or have a new campaign or event coming up, you can certainly find it on our website or any of our social media outlets.
I'm always amazed at how positive folks are over there and the way you guys handle everything with families. We talk a lot about the Children's Cancer Center because you think of the kids for sure, but certainly the family is affected. Julian, you guys do such a great job throughout the entire family because it's not just the kids, it's the parents, it's the other kids, the friends of the child. Talk a little bit about how this thing is kind of a family, a whole group dynamic.
Oh, absolutely. I think, that's one of our taglines here at the center. It's probably what we say the most. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, the entire family is diagnosed. Right. I think that's really important for people to see that, when a child is diagnosed, the parents are going through it. There's a super high divorce rate. Mm-hmm. They're going through financial difficulties. Then the brother or the sister is left out unintentionally, but of course they're so focused on the one child that's going through treatment. And so it really does affect the entire family. And our support programs, we have over 24 different programs that really focus on every family member in different ways. We have a program just for the siblings. We have a program for the parents, just for the moms, just for the dads. And so we really try to focus on getting the whole family through this time in their lives.
Yeah, what a great program. And I'd like to say your facility is really impressive as well, Julian. Talk a little bit about the facility you guys have over there. I know you're always making additions and changes. What can folks do to maybe help with the facilities?
Yeah, the facility is an amazing, we're on West Shore in Cypress, and we always encourage people to reach out to us and come in for a tour. Of course, during COVID, we're doing appointments for tours, but anyone can contact us, and I'm happy to walk anyone through the center. But we have an amazing building that allows us to have, an art room, a music therapy room, a huge playground, and just a lot of space to be able to host all of our programs. And we are always doing some kind of renovation and keeping it fun and keeping it exciting for the kids. So it is a great building. We're right there on West Shore in Cypress.
West Shore in Cypress. We want to encourage everybody out there to get involved, help in some way. The Children's Cancer Center has tons of opportunities, whether you're going to get involved in one of their events or you want to volunteer or you just want to help out. Julian and the folks over there are doing great work. Always been a longtime friend of the program, and we're certainly going to do anything we can to promote events for you guys. Thanks so much for coming on, Julian. I want to make sure that anytime you need to come on, you let me know and we'll get you on the air.
Well, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for your continued support.
Thanks so much for you and all the things you guys do over there. Okay, we're coming into a break now. When we come back, we've got Kevin Overstreet in studio, right here in our Salem Media Group studios. We've got some great information to you. We talk a lot about real estate. We don't want you to make any mistakes. Kevin can certainly help you with that. And I got a feel-good story for you about a Houston mom who's mowing lawns for folks. I think you're going to get inspired by that one as well. Don't go anywhere. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show. And check out all our partners and sponsors at consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
That's right, consumerqb.com is where you can find all our sponsors and our partners for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon set up the show about 7 years ago to bring the knowledge and information to folks in the Bay, kind of make your dollar go farther in the marketplace. We've got a sponsor for this segment. It is Discovery Golf Cars. You know, golf carts aren't just for golfing anymore. It seems like everybody has a golf cart. They're for business and recreation. This place, Discovery Golf Cars, is exactly where you want to go to take care of your golf cart needs. They have lots of makes and models: Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They sell new and pre-owned. You can rent them or buy them, and they offer financing, and they even have mobile repair. So one of their 2 locations in Tampa or Clearwater. Check them out, discoverygolfcars.com. Of course, we've got some properties for you because Brandon owns the Platinum MVP team. Any of the properties you hear pitched on the show, you can get in touch with Brandon about, commercial or residential. Here's one in the Palm Harbor area, 4467 Glenbrook Lane. This is a 5.5 with a 3-car garage, new granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and the roof is just a year old. So if you're looking to get into the Palm Harbor area, 4467 Glenbrook Lane, give Brandon a call, and the Platinum MVP team has real estate opportunities. Here's one in Seminole, 213 Dogwood Circle. This is a 2-2 with a 2-car covered carport. Exceptional water views. You're just near the beach, 55-plus community. So if you're looking to get into the Seminole area, Brandon's got an opportunity for you at 213 Dogwood Circle. Get in touch with Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. He's got real estate, even in this time of low inventory. Don't leave money on the table. Get in touch with the Platinum MVP team. Okay, before the break, we spoke with Julien Bourbon from the Children's Cancer Center. We certainly want to encourage everybody listening to get involved with CCC. They do such a great job, and these kids certainly are doing everything they can to help the families and kids who are suffering. So we want to do everything we can to encourage you there. Kevin Overstreet is in our Salem Media Group studios. Kevin's been on before. We met Jenny Restrepo just recently. She works with Kevin. Kevin, what's going on with PropertyPreQual now?
All kinds of great things. So
okay.
I think that'll be our topic today is PropertyPreQual. And just first I'll kind of recap as far as what it is. So there are a couple companies, a few, that are offering title monitoring services. Okay. And we're one of those, and I'll explain a couple things that make us very different than the others. It's still a huge learning curve that the general public is going through.
Right.
Is starting to go through when it comes to title fraud and how to prevent it. I liken it a lot to identity theft. So most people didn't know that was a thing until LifeLock.
Right.
LifeLock started talking about it and advertising heavily, and probably caused a nice increase in identity theft, because when you're talking about a crime,
we're learning about identity theft.
Well, you're also when you're teaching the public, you're also teaching bad guys how to do bad things. Mm-hmm. So with title fraud, it's a rampant thing that almost no one's aware of, and there are many reasons for that, and I won't get into the why we don't know about it, but the biggest struggle we're having is getting people to believe it,
right.
That it's a real thing, and anyone who sees the process, how I can simplify it, it's remarkably real. And we have a...
One of the things, I just want to back up one second. One of the stories that was very illustrative for me was the shotgun story. The guy said, hey, I'm coming to get... You tell someone, hey, I'm coming to get your house.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah, so it was. We've been running for the last several months some A/B tests with social media ads, and one of them was responded to by a guy because this is a new concept.
Right.
No one is stealing your house; they're stealing title to your house, which is your evidence of ownership. But a guy, forgive me, but his name was Bubba. Is Bubba? He said, nobody's taking my house. I've got my 12-gauge shotgun, and I said, no one wants your house.
It's a whole different ballgame.
No one wants your house, but they can take the equity in your home or create equity in your home and steal that without you even knowing. And he just didn't believe me, so I real quickly figured out who he was.
Right.
And this wasn't difficult. Figured out who he was. I found his property. I found his mortgage. I know the title company that closed on him in 2012, I think it was. And I said, well, Bubba, all I really need to do is record a deed with a signature that looks like yours. I can do it electronically, and then do a satisfaction of that mortgage from your lender. that's not real, but no one tells the lender that they filed a satisfaction. Then I own your home free and clear, and I can finance it or maybe sell it if you're not there.
As stunning as that sounds, it's going on, folks.
Yeah, and his closing statement was, "I still have my shotgun." And I didn't say anything else, but I want to say that might be all you have.
Yeah, I hope you can sleep in it.
Yeah. But it's there's a very big company out west that has got a couple million clients that are subscribed to their service, and their service is fine. I'm one of their clients. The way I typically check out my competition is by becoming their client if I can. See. And I won't get into any issues with them or anything because that's not why I'm here. But there's also a guy in South Florida who is fraudulently protecting people against title fraud.
So you think you're protected?
I've enrolled 4 properties with him, $9.99 a month per property. 3 of the properties don't exist. Completely made up addresses.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So this is the way you're testing to see if this is legit or not.
Yep.
And you submitted 3 false?
I enrolled my property, and I got a reply, "You're being monitored." And then I enrolled, I literally just made up, I said, "Give me 3 digits.
Wow.
Here, I used a zip code in Oyster Bay, New York, and it's being monitored. So I've been, for the last few months, his ideal client. I'm paying $40 a month to monitor these 4 properties, and nothing's happening. At the website, I can't even log in. I don't have an account. So more to come on that after some things go down. But it's important to understand that the types of title fraud is that's a long story, and we have a few minutes. So, but the types of people that need it, and to really be broad, every property owner does need title monitoring. They can do it themselves. In the book, The Fraud Shine State, that will be out soon. We're waiting for a story to conclude so we can add it. It gets into the details, but we don't have to do that now. But when you purchase a property, the thing that almost no one knows is, unlike all other insurance, your title insurance, which is my background. My companies have closed more than 40,000 transactions. I love title insurance, but it actually, the moment that deed is recorded that creates ownership in public record for you, that's the moment that your title insurance policy coverage period ends. Unlike all other types of insurance, you can't get life insurance after you're dead. You can't get a car insurance after you crash. You can, but it's tricky. The title policy is, the effective date is the minute that the deed is recorded in public record, and that's when it ends. It is a rear-facing type of insurance, which is not like any other insurance.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
Yeah, so whatever happens after that, the minute after that, or 20 years after that, you have no coverage. There's literally nothing insuring your current ownership of your property.
Wow. So a lot of times, a lot of folks get into home ownership and they don't have a background in clerical. They're not used to filing paperwork and all that kind of thing. So you've got to trust somebody else. So right away, you've kind of put yourself in a position where you're not so sure what you've got and how to check it. Kevin's telling you that this goes on all the time. You don't have to be a computer whiz to pull this off. There are folks out there doing this because these are public records.
It's public record. So and particularly in Florida, where everything's online, images and everything. So with very few exceptions, like law enforcement and judges and things like that, I or you or anyone who has a computer and a little bit of knowledge, which are tens of thousands of people, can simply see everything. There's your deed where you took title. Fine. Here's the mortgage that's current against your property containing your signatures. And let me just make a deed. And $200 a year, you can subscribe to a site that has every document for every state formatted correctly. Fill out the bogus information. Fake your signature. You don't even need a notary. Most people use notaries. You can just get a notary stamp that's fake on Amazon. It's $12. Be there tomorrow. Wow. And then satisfy the mortgage of record. Satisfy it with a satisfaction of mortgage document. And then from a optic standpoint, they own your property. So the most common victims are, it's hard to say, but a very common victim is dead people. You die, a death certificate doesn't go into public record, but obituaries are public. And the guy will find there's a person who died that doesn't have survivors. I can just deed the property from him, even though he's dead. To me, it's vacant, maybe furnished, and I can sell it. Wow. It's common, but so every property owner should have this, whether it's with me or another company or yourself. Right. There's a do-it-yourself guide in my book and on the website, PropertyPreQual.com, and you can do that and do it if nothing else. And but think about renters. How many renters rent a property without checking title. Almost all of them.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something you'd have to.
All of us by now have heard of someone going and renting a property, and then something like this happens. The neighbor says, "Hey, who are you?" "I'm your new neighbor. I'm renting this place from Jeff." And they're like, "Oh, that place has been in foreclosure for several months." And then you've lost your security deposit, your first month's rent. Jeff didn't own the place. He just put a picture of it on Craigslist. And so, but then let's say that didn't happen and you move in. Isn't it important to know if your landlord is going into foreclosure?
Yeah, I mean, think about just the headache of moving. Say you're not going to get financially killed. You're still going to have to move in and move out.
And then
at the very least,
let's look the other direction. Landlords. If you own rental properties, there's no person in a better position to steal a house than your tenant, because they can take title from you to them in the methods that I kind of described earlier, and then just call a realtor and list the house. They live there. They look like owners.
Sure, it's all right.
Records show that they're owners. Title companies won't miss it. They'll see that it looks correct, and they'll sell it out from under you. Think about the hedge fund folks that during the foreclosure crisis were gobbling up thousands of properties, and they're still owning those in Florida.
Right.
Every one of those needs to be monitored, and we offer some serious discounts for quantity and things like that. And then think about snowbirds. You're gone half of the year. That's when your property gets stolen.
Well, that's a prime opportunity, guys, because you're just not monitoring things. You're not here. You can't keep an active eye on everything. And again, Kevin's brought this. Sounds. I know the first time you told me this, I was a little surprised. I was taken aback. I didn't think this could happen. I'm a homeowner. What are you talking about? Then you brought Matt on. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Matt came. He had an actual. He's got the book. He's going to have the book out soon, and you can see these stories. But he's had the perpetrator has been on our show before. And we talked a little bit about how he did it. He was very candid with us. He didn't just do one. He went through, what is it, Ybor?
In Ybor City, he stole title in various ways. Very, I want to say genius, but we'll say diabolical.
Right.
Evil genius. He stole 109 properties.
109 properties in Ybor.
While living there. He is, and this was in the time period roughly 02 to 04, maybe 05, before he was finally caught. He was actually the number one on the list, on the Secret Service most wanted list, and he was on the top 10 for the FBI, and he finally got caught. But in Ybor City, he was almost single-handedly responsible for, during that time frame, a massive increase in values of the properties, because he's buying an $80,000 property, and I won't say how, but he's recording it as a $300,000 sale. And then he's taken that $300,000 property
that becomes the comp.
That is owned by a person that doesn't exist, because he can walk right into the Social Security office and get a card for his 6-month-old baby who doesn't exist. And then taking out multiple, like 8 to 10 sometimes, mortgages on that $300,000 property. So he's got a couple $1 million or 1.5 that is loaned against this property that every lender doesn't know about the other lender because of the lag time in public records, and thinks that they did a loan on a $300,000 property and it was worth $80,000.
Oh my gosh!
So and that becomes comps for the next sale, and that's why the values went up. It's a small part of it, but it's part of the reason for the crash was overinflated values in general, and this guy was a genius with it.
Coming into a break, I just want to show everyone that there's a blind spot. This was the blind spot this guy took advantage of. He found this niche, and until Kevin came in here and talked about this, I had never even heard of this. I'd never even heard of this situation. Mm-hmm. This guy pulled off 109 properties.
And he was not charged with title fraud, because that's not a charge yet. I'm working on that.
There wasn't even something to charge. Wow.
Yeah, it was wire fraud, mortgage fraud, things like that.
Okay, we're coming into a break. We got a lot to talk about with Kevin Overstreet, Property Firewall. I want you guys to consider getting a little more active in taking an active role in protecting yourself, because we talk a lot about, we have Alex Lima comes in with Black Belt Fitness, or Thomas King from Florida Firearms Academy. We talk about having a plan for your family, your protection. Well, nothing's going to be more detrimental to you than having no home. You find out you come home and your house is gone, well, your family's looking at you like, what are you talking about? So this is something we really want to talk about. The real estate, of course, is a driver for the economy, and certainly some topic on this show that we can't get enough of. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Kevin. We want to encourage you to check out Kevin. He's got a website for you, and he's also available as a partner at consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Oh, alrighty. Everybody stand by.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
That's right. Give Brandon a call for all your real estate needs. He owns the Platinum MVP team. He's got properties for you, both commercial and residential, even in this time of low inventory throughout the Bay. This segment is sponsored by Replenish IV Solutions. The Consumer Quarterback Show has a great network of partners and sponsors, and the Replenish IV Solutions, Steve and Lisa Gunnan, have been with the show for quite a while now. Really unique business concept. If you're looking to feel more energized, hydrated, and replenished, in a safe and effective way to restore your body's immune systems, with COVID-19, everyone's worried about their immunity, and this is a great way to boost your immunity. Steve and Lisa have multiple locations throughout the Bay, but they will also come to you. So if you don't have time, they will bring an IV right to you and inject you with vitamins, minerals, whatever you need to improve your immunity. It's great, really great business model for them. So Replenish IV Solutions. You can check out all the reviews at replenishivsolutions.com. Okay, we always talk real estate on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon's got properties for you now, even in this time of low inventory throughout the Bay. Get in touch with Brandon and the Platinum MVP team for all your real estate needs. We got one in the Newport Richey area, 6128 Oak Ridge Avenue. This is a full acre. So we've got a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home right on the water, full acre in Newport Richey. So if you want to get into the Newport Richey area, 6128 Oak Ridge Ave, call Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. They've got a great opportunity for you right there at 6128 Oak Ridge Avenue. We've got one in Hudson. No, we pulled. We're going to go Bel Air. Here's one in Bel Air, 422 Wildwood Way. So if you want to get into the Bel Air area, he's got a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage. This is newly renovated and real close to the beach. So it's got that updated look. All the cabinets have that new white look. In the Bel Air area at 422 Wildwood Way, call Brandon and the Platinum MVP team. Even in this time of low inventory, he's got commercial, residential, he's got open land. Everything you need, all your real estate needs from the Platinum MVP team and Brandon. So want to encourage you, don't leave money on the table. Get in touch with Brandon. All right, before the break, Kevin Overstreet was explaining some things. He's got property firewall, and one of the things that you may not consider as a homeowner is protecting your home. What do you mean? Of course I protect my home. We mentioned before the scenario where a gentleman bought a shotgun. He thought, I've got my home protected. There's no way you're going to take my home. Well, it's a little bit different because it's done in the background using some clerical documents. And Kevin kind of laid out a scenario for us. He's got a couple more examples. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So back to everyone who owns property or is involved in property is a potential victim of this type of crime. And there's a couple that folks might not, like, they don't think of any of this, but they wouldn't necessarily think of. Has anyone ever heard a story something like, wow, I can't believe Dad or Grandpa signed over his property to his caretaker right before he died?
Yeah, you hear about folks
right?
worried about their elderly relative who's being taken advantage of by somebody.
Yeah, a lot of those cases. So then it becomes a probate issue potentially, but it's not disputable. So let's say Grandpa's got a caretaker, Linda, and Grandpa dies. And then Linda, if she has the sophistication to do it or someone is pulling her strings, can simply do a deed from dead Grandpa to herself.
Simple as signing over, just like a car sale.
Yeah, and the only person that could dispute that deed is dead.
There doesn't have to be a third party involved in that transaction?
Yeah, the notary.
Which can be falsified.
It can be falsified, or you can just become a notary. You spend a couple bucks and you're a notary. There's not a big vetting thing that goes on with that. So, and that's a misunderstanding that a lot of folks have. A person who's a notary doesn't mean they're not a criminal. So
as simple as that, folks. All of a sudden, Grandpa's property is now in the possession of his caretaker.
A lot of times it happens before the death, so the person can take out loans and things like that. So that's another great example of, if you have relatives that you care about and care for, which I think we all do,
right,
then monitor their properties, because they're a prime victim. I mean, I call this the fraud shine state because it's number one in fraud in most areas, and it's a cool name. And
yeah, seniors are a target.
Yeah,
a lot of these scams
the most
are
common
targeting.
victim of most types of fraud are
That's
seniors,
right.
Unfortunately. And then there are 4 stories in the book, and I won't get into them, but Matt Cox is one of them, and then the gentleman in Pinellas County, licensed real estate broker who stole over 20 properties. He'll be
right here in the backyard, folks.
Yeah, he'll be, and he's still doing it, but not for long because he's about to be taken down.
Stay tuned.
There's a true-to-life story that is not true, but it's accurate. The details are not accurate because I don't want to have an instruction manual on how to do this.
Right.
But during the book creation process, I had to just take a break, and I said, I've got something in my head I need to type. So I typed this story out, and it's basically what someone with my knowledge level would do if they were bad, or if I was bad, which I'm not. But it's an entertaining story, I believe, but it's also absolutely doable.
Shows you all the potential issues that you could be getting involved in if you're unscrupulous. You're dealing with somebody who has access.
Yeah, and you mentioned in the last segment, you mentioned trust. You're doing a transaction and you're trusting people, and that's great and foolish. Actually, during the editing process, the early editing, the editor called me and said, "Wow, this is amazing. I can't believe this is a real thing."
Yeah.
Blah blah. But why should the reader trust you? I said, exactly. Why should they? It's not even trust, but verify. Trust is gone in today's world.
That's right.
And just accept it and deal with it. So, in this, with title fraud, you've got to have someone monitoring it, but also double check them. Again, do the do-it-yourself thing, because the guy monitoring your title is the best guy to steal it.
That's right.
And also, well, I lost it. Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, in business, you certainly want to have the idea that, hey, I don't have to double check everything, but you can't. It's 2020. This has been a crazy year, and if you're going to do business with somebody, you better just make sure that you have all the I's dotted and T's crossed, because you never know what's going to happen eventually.
And what is con man stand? That's a short. What's con man short for?
Confidence.
Confidence. The con man is the very best at making you trust them, because that's their whole deal. And
the person you trust most, the person you're going to go to as the resource for the truth or the knowledge, is the guy taking advantage of that situation.
Most of the time when a company, any type of business, gets stolen from internally, the boss will say something like, "That was the last person I thought would ever do this,"
right,
because he or she was brilliant at getting you to think that about them. One more thing, the Airbnb and VRBO, these vacation rentals, prime target. So think about, and this is what the somewhat fake guy in the story does. So you've got a vacation rental, you live in North Dakota or whatever, it's a mansion, it's on the beach, it's in South Florida, you're gone for the summer, and I rent it. And while I rent it, I change the locks, I have keys made, I do whatever. I figure out the situation with the property manager, if there is one, and then I sell it after I've stolen it.
Now, you say, I know this is done, because I was stunned when I saw this. So it starts with, they're Airbnb, they're the tenant. As you said, they mentioned they go through the lock, change everything. They're representing as if they own the home. The paperwork on the backside never gets back to the original owner?
So they'll change the locks and do all of that, but they'll change title. So the most important thing, obviously, is that they change title. If there's a mortgage, they do a fake satisfaction. A lot of those don't have mortgages. And then they wait for the 3 offices of the county to have the same information. And they call a realtor before you come back from your summer home and list the property. Hey, it's a $2 million mansion. I want to get out of here quick. I want cash-only offers. I'll go as low as 1.7. The realtor says, "Wow, cha-ching, I'm going to make 50 grand on this." And a cash buyer comes along, and the bad guy skates with the money, maybe 20 at a time in a bunch of different counties, using realtors that aren't familiar with that particular area. And the title companies will not notice anything unless he does something wrong, which the guy that we've caught, he misspelled a signature.
Oh my gosh, that's the way he got caught?
He had, and we wouldn't have caught him otherwise. He put 2 L's in the last name that should have had 1, and no one misspells their signatures.
Right.
So turns out that lady had been dead for a few years.
Holy cow, I can't believe this. Now, the jurisdictions, we talk a lot about Florida because of the senior population. They're constantly targets for this kind of thing. But because of our low inventory, we have a lot of out-of-state investors that are just looking for anything. As soon as they see an open, they're going to jump on it, try to make it buy. With that kind of pressure, it makes the sale so much easier for this kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to price it a little below market value for a quick sale, and everyone sees that as a slam dunk, fast paycheck. And that scenario could be completely legitimate hundreds of times, but you won't even see the ones that aren't. And then let's say the buyers. So a family purchases the property, and they move in. and they establish homestead, and they have children going to school there, and then you come back from your home in North Dakota, and it was a fraudulent transfer, so you can get your property back, and there are many variables on how to do it, but you're also kicking a family out of their home that they love. And as a homestead in Florida, homestead protection is vast, and they can fight you. And none of this would happen if you had your title being monitored, number one, either by yourself or by someone else, because if you catch it soon, it does take time for the paperwork to catch up between the offices and for the listing to happen or the mortgage to come through or anything like that. But those people that purchased your property through a fraudulent transfer, their title insurance policy doesn't cover them at all.
So you're talking about two victims. You're talking about the owner of the property. He's out the property. Now a family has come forward with their life savings. They moved into their dream home. Now they're out on the street because this is a legitimate transaction.
And doesn't the realtor have to pay back that $50,000 to someone?
Cow.
I would think.
What a mess.
Absolute disaster.
Complete mess.
It's a disaster. So I mentioned earlier that there are other businesses that do this, some legit and some not. But all of those are reactive, of course. So something gets recorded in public record, and then after that, because how could they do it before, they report it to the subscriber, often with a very long delay, but that's just probably a data issue on their end. We're the only ones that have a deterrent as well. So the nefarious guy or girl or lady or whatever that's going into public record, they have to be able to do that online in order to see what they need to do. Okay, here's a signature, here's the deed that I need to, here's the vesting of the deed. Now I know how I need to buy the property. So they need all of that. So we use that. That's the problem. That's the reason this exists is because of the easy access. So we're using the easy access as a weapon against this crime in the form of a one-page document that is a notice of title monitoring. And it's a wordy document because I wrote it, but it is basically the below described property is being monitored for title fraud.
Right.
Any changes will be immediately reported to the subscriber/owner and law enforcement if necessary. So Matt Cox did say some great things. My favorite thing that he said was, well, two. One, his friends asked him, how are you ever going to make a living? Because you've got to pay 40% restitution for the rest of your life until you pay $6 million or something like that. And his tongue-in-cheek, I think, response is, well, there's always fraud. And it's even easier now because and he says this, it's easier now because of electronic recording. So electronic recording doesn't even have to be an original, believe it or not. And then the next thing he says is if he saw that notice or something like it in the records for that property, he would simply not mess with that property because there are thousands more.
Right.
It's the same as the ADT sign in your front lawn, and no one else has it on your street potentially. So they simply won't rob your house, and that's exactly what we're creating with this. And we've got a lot of long-term plans on how to morph that into a title insurance product, but that's the big deal. It's the stop sign. And
Property Firewall, PropertyPreQual.com is where you can go check it out. Get a look at it because this is a blind spot for most folks. Honestly, I didn't know about this. A lot of homeowners don't know about this. Brandon's in the real estate business. Kevin's the first one that brought this in. So we started hearing about this. We brought Matt Cox on the show. Stunning. Just what? You couldn't believe the numbers. You couldn't believe the amount of people that were affected by this. We got to get on top of this. We're going to go into a break now. We're going to come back with Kevin and just get into some specifics about what you can do. Again, he's gone out of his way. He's written books on this subject. It's very surprising. You'll be stunned to see what people have gone through and the difficulty in writing this. It's a clerical issue, and these can take time to work through the courts and everything. So you want to stay on top of this. What a great product, PropertyFirewall.com. Don't go anywhere. We're going to come back with a feel-good story for you about a Houston mom mowing lawns. This is the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes created it 7 years ago just for you. We want you to check us out, all the partners and sponsors at ConsumerQB.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-5600. 8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
That's right, consumerqb.com has all our sponsors, all our partners, and lots of information for you. We want you to check it out. Brandon owns the Platinum MVP team. He's a Keller Williams agent. Been in the real estate game in Tampa Bay for quite a while. He's got lots of contacts for you, and the show is really his baby. He's been doing it for, again, I said 7 years. I've been with him for a few years producing the show. We feel like there's great value in the show for you. We've got a bunch of great sponsors and partners. Our sponsor for this segment is Brothers Easy Moving. And just like all our sponsors on the show, we came to them because we did business with these folks. We found they did a great job moving Brandon into his own home. These guys stay late and worked through the night to get sure that move was done. They became the official moving company of the Consumer Quarterback Show that night. So they do local and long distance. Angie's List Super Service Award winners. You can check out all their 5-star reviews. Brothers Easy Moving, local or long distance. That's who you want to get in touch with. And we've got one last property on the show. Again, any of the properties you hear me pitch on the Consumer Quarterback Show are available to you through the Platinum MVP team. Brandon is a Keller Williams agent. We've got an opportunity in Palm Harbor at 4209 Preserve Place. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with a 2-car garage, vaulted ceilings. Really nice layout right on the water. You've got a bonus room. If you're looking to get into the Palm Harbor area, 4209 Preserve Place, Brandon and the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty have all your real estate needs covered. Commercial, residential, don't leave money on the table. Get in touch with Brandon, and he'll handle all your real estate. We've got a feel-good story because that's a critical component to the show. You know, Brandon wanted everyone to get away from the negativity all day long and give you something positive to think about. The feel-good story is just that. I've got a story about a Houston mom. She's mowing lawns for free during the pandemic. I'll tell you why. A mother lost her job due to the pandemic, has found a way to stay positive by giving back to her community. Laura Labordi's from Houston. She's been mowing lawns for seniors and veterans who need a little extra help. She's serving 2 local neighborhoods on weekdays and some weekends. She said her availability is flexible due to losing her job in the oil and gas industry during the pandemic. She said, I found myself laid off with the COVID thing, and so I decided that I needed to do something to put good back into the world. I just got out there and started helping. She started a website, iwantamowyourlawn.com. It's an online community of volunteers who want to help elderly neighbors and those in underprivileged communities with lawn care. It's a great way for anybody to help if you're looking for something to do. If you want to come out and volunteer, we'd love to have more people on the team. Just like we talk about an act of kindness, somebody out there doing something good, not letting the negativity of the pandemic get them down. They found a way to be positive, and that's what we're trying to do for you. We assemble a bunch of partners. We're trying to provide some information. We think there's great value in the show. We were speaking with Kevin Overstreet before the break. His Property Firewall is his business, and it's just stunning to think that you could lose your home. You know, we talk a lot about the home being the primary driver of wealth on the show. It's your biggest investment. It's your family, you know. And to come home one day and realize you don't own that home anymore because someone has stolen it with through a clerical technique that you weren't unaware of, how stunning that would be. So Kevin has given us some examples. Continue, if you would, Kevin, just telling us a little bit about how this Property Firewall can help folks.
I want to... First of all, that might be the only that young lady mowing the lawns might be the only person who didn't gain weight during during
right.
COVID.
Get out there and do something. That's right.
That's great. Obviously you start a company to make money, and that's you have
business,
to,
right.
otherwise it doesn't sustain. Right. So, but my goal with Property Firewall, although it is to make money, of course, like anyone else, like any other business, that's a little secondary. I truly want to stop this type of crime for starters, in the state of Florida. We can do this everywhere in the nation, but we're focusing from a marketing standpoint on Florida. And That's because this is where it's here in California, or where it's at its worst. Here, it's mostly because of the easy access to public records and the
combination
relative appreciation.
Yeah.
California, their market is boom and bust every few years, so it's just ripe for all types of fraudsters to be in there. But I want to drive this out of the state and really protect everyone. We've got we haven't developed it fully yet, but we'll have a nonprofit side of this, where
cool.
a lot of some of the proceeds will go into something to protect the 17,500 homes that are with Habitat for Humanity.
Right.
So
They're
they
at
built
risk
that
as
many
well.
homes so far in Florida, and giving those to people, deserving people that
That's
are sometimes not very wealthy. So we'll be monitoring some of those for free in the future. But
it's very cool.
So how to stop it, or how to catch it?
That's right.
The most informative way for you to do it is the do-it-yourself way, and that is on the website and also in the book. It's several steps. It is not rocket science. What that'll show you is it's kind of a pain in the butt to monitor it, but more importantly, it'll show you how easy it was for you to find everything. And that's what the criminals can do to you at any time. Some counties, I believe 9 counties in the state of Florida now, all 3 in the metro area here, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough, are subscribers of a service called PropertyPreQual.com, and that's free. So if that's available, just go to your county clerk's office, their website.
Great advice.
And sign up. The limitation to that, the great news is it's free. The bad news, it's only based on your name. So I just looked just now. I subscribed fake as John Williams at the beginning of the year, January 1st. And since then, an email comes to you when a document is recorded in your name-ish. So I just looked. I have gotten 123 emails from them this year, because it's a very common name.
Because John Williams occurred that many times on deeds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not just deeds. They're reporting everything, which is good.
Activity.
So if you have a common name, this taught me there are 3 other Kevin Overstreets in Hillsborough County.
Wow.
Yeah. Who would have known? So those are great. Do it. Also, look at the other companies if you like. What I believe sets Property Firewall apart is, number one, we communicate with you every month. So every single month, you're going to get an email from us that says green, yellow, or red. Basically, pick one.
Right.
If something was recorded. If nothing's recorded, it's a, hey, nothing has been recorded thing. So you will hear from us every month. The other ones, you hear nothing ever until something gets recorded, and then you might hear it late. The other huge difference is that document, the notice of title monitoring. And so let me run through how the different levels of membership with us work.
About 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. First, you can do a 30-day free trial. It costs you nothing. Do that. It costs me money, so obviously I'm not trying
Take
to get
advantage
rich.
of that.
Let me lose money taking care of you. That'll show you a lot, and you can kind of go from there. We also have a monthly membership, which is $9.99 a month, which is reactive. Frankly, it's like the other companies because we can't record that notice every month. And then the annual membership, which is $149 a year, is what you want, because that includes that document being recorded, and then every time you renew, as long as you own the house, we record a new one every year. Think of it as a deck page that's not yet a deck page.
So that's the way you can keep an eye on this stuff. Because, again, Florida, we're in the sunshine, and there's a lot of great things about that, but it certainly makes access to this kind of information available to anyone out there.
Just real quick, my second book, I don't want to get into what it's about, but will be called Sunny Places and Shady People, because that's exactly what we have here.
I tell you, our state it's great and bad. There's a lot of good and bad in that, but we want to do business out there. We have transparency. You want to be able to see what's going on, but man, it opens the possibilities up for folks that are unscrupulous and looking to do harm to you. So you've got to stay on top of this. Property Firewall gives you a chance to trust somebody who can do this, has been doing this, and is the first one that I found out that even knew this was going on. So I think Kevin has been on the ground floor of this whole thing. Just a few seconds left, Kevin. What's the best way for folks to get to you if they want to investigate this? So
my cell number is 813-504-9708. You can check out Property Firewall at PropertyFirewall.com. You can also email me at kevin@kevinoverstreet.com, or my other email addresses, but I don't want to get into those. He's available, folks. He's out there trying to help you. Let him do it. And check him out. He's at consumerqb.com, like all our partners as well. Great show today. We heard from a lot of folks looking to help you. Julian came out from Children's Cancer Center. We certainly encourage everyone to check them out and help them whenever you can. Kevin has that great information for you. Again, this is something that I never had thought of. So this is a whole new ball game. We encourage all homeowners to take a look at PropertyFirewall.com.
I want to thank Brandon Rhymes for starting the show. I want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to host, and I hope he's coming back. I think he's going to be back next week, so hang in there. Check out all our partners and sponsors, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.